Picture two people. Both are 30 years old. Both graduated the same year. Both accepted jobs at the same company. Both started at almost the exact same salary. One of them just got back from Cabo. There's a new watch on his wrist. A brand new SUV in the parking lot. Everyone in the office assumes he's doing incredibly well. The other flew economy to visit her parents, still driving the same 2015 Honda Civic. Nobody notices. Nobody envies her. Now, here's the strange part. The man everyone admires has about $1,200 in his checking account. He also has a credit card balance that keeps growing. He stopped opening the app. The woman nobody notices has more than $180,000 quietly invested in low-cost index funds. Same age, same career, same income. So, what happened? It wasn't a lottery ticket, it wasn't crypto, it wasn't a lucky stock pick, it wasn't rich parents. It was something much smaller. A handful of ordinary decisions. So ordinary, neither of them realized they were changing the direction of their lives. Let's rewind, back to age 22, because that's where everything started. Rule 1. Your paycheck is only the beginning of the story. The first Friday after their paychecks arrived, they both celebrated. Jake looked at his salary and thought, "I'm finally making real money." Emily looked at hers and thought, "What percentage of this can I keep?" That tiny difference sounds almost meaningless, but it changes everything. Most people spend years trying to increase the size of their paycheck. Very few spend time increasing the percentage they actually keep. Think of income as a river. Think of wealth as a lake. A huge river doesn't guarantee a full lake. If every drop flows right back out, the lake stays empty. Years later, Jake's river had become much bigger. Several promotions, better bonuses, higher salary. But somehow, the lake never filled. Emily's river wasn't much different. Her lake quietly grew every single year. Because the scoreboard was never income, it was ownership. Rule 2. Not all debt deserves to be treated the same. About a year later, they both needed a car. Jake walked into the dealership. The salesperson asked one question: "What monthly payment feels comfortable?" Jake smiled. That sounded reasonable. Emily asked a different question. "What's the total cost?" Same purchase, different mindset. One focused on today's payment, the other focused on tomorrow's freedom. That's an important distinction. A low-interest mortgage that helps you build equity is very different from high-interest credit card debt that compounds against you every single month. High-interest consumer debt doesn't just cost money, it steals future choices. Every dollar spent paying 20% interest is a dollar that never gets the chance to compound for you. And unlike an emergency credit card debt rarely arrives all at once, it grows quietly, month after month, until one day you realize you're working hard just to stay in the same place. Rule 3. Lifestyle inflation happens automatically. Wealth doesn't. By 26, they'd both received promotions. Jake upgraded his apartment, then his furniture, then his vacations, then his wardrobe. None of those purchases seemed irresponsible. Each one made perfect sense. Emily celebrated too. She increased one number, her automatic investment. Every raise came with the same habit. Half of every increase went directly into investing before she even had the chance to spend it. Neither of them felt deprived. But one lifestyle expanded, the other balance sheet expanded. That's the trap most people never notice. Your expenses naturally rise to match your income, unless you stop them on purpose. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is where wealth is actually created. Rule 4. Time does most of the work. At 27, Emily still wasn't earning spectacular money, but she had something much more valuable: time. Every month, another automatic investment quietly happened. Nothing exciting, nothing viral, nothing worth posting online. But compound growth doesn't reward excitement, it rewards consistency. Imagine investing $300 every month starting at 22. Even if you only manage that habit for 10 years before stopping, those early dollars would have decades to keep growing. Someone who waits until 32 may invest much more money over their lifetime, yet still struggle to catch up. Not because they made bad investments, because they started the race later. Money grows, but time multiplies growth, and time is the one asset nobody can buy back. Rule 5. An emergency fund isn't about earning returns, it's about buying time. Then, life happened. The company announced layoffs. Jake panicked. Rent still existed. Car payments still existed. Credit card bills definitely still existed. Within weeks, his emergency became debt. Emily had quietly built 6 months of living expenses. She didn't celebrate that account. She rarely even looked at it. But during the layoff, that boring savings account became the most valuable investment she'd ever made. An emergency fund isn't designed to make you rich. It's designed to stop one bad month from destroying 10 good years. That's a very different job, and it's worth every dollar sitting there. Rule 6. Your career is your biggest investment. Jake spent hours researching ETFs. Emily spent hours preparing for salary negotiations. Both cared about money. One focused on the stock market, the other focused on her market value. When promotion season arrived, Emily negotiated. Not aggressively, professionally, confidently. She received a raise larger than she expected. That increase didn't just affect one paycheck. It increased every future raise, every future bonus, every future retirement contribution. That's compounding too, just from a different direction. Sometimes the highest return investment isn't inside your brokerage account. Sometimes it's inside your own career. Rule 7. Insurance protects what investing builds. At 31, Jake was involved in an accident. Thankfully, everyone was okay. Financially, it was a disaster. Unexpected costs arrived faster than expected. Emily had insurance she hoped she'd never use. Disability coverage, adequate liability protection, emergency savings. Nothing exciting, nothing anyone complimented her for. But wealth isn't only built by growing assets. It's protected by preventing one terrible afternoon from erasing years of progress. The wealthiest people aren't the luckiest. They're often the best protected. Rule 8. Comparison quietly steals more money than inflation. One afternoon, a coworker bought a luxury SUV. Another posted vacation photos from Italy. Someone else announced they had just bought a larger house. Jake started wondering whether he was falling behind. Emily asked herself a different question. Do I actually want any of those things? That's a powerful question, because many purchases aren't solving our problems, they're solving our insecurity. You're comparing your real financial life to someone else's carefully edited version, and that's never a fair comparison. Freedom grows much faster when your spending reflects your values instead of someone else's lifestyle. Rule 9. Salary is what people notice. Net worth is what matters. By 38, Jake earned more money than he ever imagined. Yet every month still felt strangely tight. Emily wasn't earning dramatically more, but something important had changed. Her investments were beginning to produce meaningful growth on their own. For the first time, she realized her money had started working while she slept. Every year she calculated one number: net worth, assets minus liabilities. No emotions, no guesses, just reality. Salary tells people what flows toward you. Net worth tells you what stays. One is a headline. The other is the truth. Rule 10. Progress beats perfection. Looking back, Jake always believed he'd start investing seriously later, after the next promotion, after paying off one more bill, after life slowed down. Emily never waited for perfect. She simply started, small amounts, automatic contributions, repeated for years. The biggest financial mistake isn't making one bad decision, it's postponing dozens of good ones. Because every year you delay, compound growth has one less year to help you, and that's a price nobody notices until much later. Now fast forward, they're both 40. Jake still earns a good living. He's working hard, trying to catch up, wondering why making more money never seems to create more freedom. Emily isn't retired. She isn't flying private. She isn't posting videos about becoming a millionaire overnight. But she has something much more valuable: options. She can walk away from a toxic job. She can survive an unexpected layoff. She can help her parents if they need her. She can invest when everyone else is panicking. She doesn't feel trapped by every paycheck anymore. And that's what wealth really buys. Not luxury, not status, not expensive watches. Freedom. The freedom to choose. Remember those two 30-year-olds from the beginning? They didn't become different because one made one brilliant financial decision. They became different because one repeated a handful of ordinary decisions long enough for the math to take over. So here's my challenge. Don't try to change all 10 rules this week. Pick one. Just one. Start today. Repeat it next month. Then the month after that. Because almost nobody becomes wealthy through dramatic moments. Most people become wealthy through ordinary habits that eventually produce extraordinary results. Thanks for watching. At John Ma Wealth, we explore timeless ideas about money, investing, and building lasting wealth. If you found this video valuable, a like helps more people discover this video. And if you're serious about building lasting wealth, subscribe. Until next time, keep learning, keep investing, and keep building.